in brief. Okay. So let's moving on to the next slide. What is Azure? Do we have any idea on what is Azure? Anyone?
Microsoft's cloud, I think so, as per my knowledge.
Yeah. So what is cloud?
Cloud is nothing but a data saver. Like it's not a physical one. I think we can save the data. We can use the data in future.
Correct. So Azure is a one of the second largest cloud provider in the world. So it holds the second place in the market share. So Azure is a cloud provider. So what is cloud? So if we come to the cloud, so before understanding what is cloud, so I'll want to give you a brief about the what is on-prem machines, what is the its challenges, then we can able to understand what is cloud. So I'm moving on to the next slide. So then we'll come back to again this what is Azure and what is cloud. So this is the on-prem machines. So might be you are aware the on-prem machines, that is nothing but the physical machines which is available in the data centers in the every organization. So earlier nowadays everyone is using cloud, but in the down the line from 5-6 years back, so everyone is having the own data centers based on their needs. Suppose if I want to host any application, if I want to maintain that, I have to procure the system. Then for procurement, I have to raise the indent. I have to manage that. To manage the instant, I have to hire the experts and the engineers. And also for that, I need the data center, and I need the switches, and I need the custom domain, everything we need to manage. So this is a very, very huge and expensive task, tedious task to an organization to maintain it. As a small organization, they have to maintain and their own data centers is very, very big challenge, right? So that is the main reason of the cloud coming to picture. And also, for example, if there is a seasonal sale is going on, the Diwali sale or the Christmas sale, so every other, if you can take an example of Amazon, so normal days traffic is different, and the user hit is different, and when the some sale is going on, the actual sale hit is different. The server may not able to cater that many request, right, because of the huge load. For that, the organization have to plan in advance for 5-6 months before, so that they have to procure the servers, they have to maintain everything, they have to set up, they have to set up the application, everything they have to do in their own premises. Then they can able to handle such type of loads. What if after that the peak seasons the server may be idle? it is it may be idle for the long term, so there is unnecessary expenses to the organization, right? So that is the main and biggest drawback of the on-prem, the physical machines. So we have, it is very, very expensive, we have to maintain, the organization has to maintain that. If any problem, coming to the next slide, if you can see this slide, the maintaining, this is the left side, it shows the all the rack servers. So it's a blade servers, every blade server will have around 20 machines in the each rack, right? So from the front it will looks very nice, beautiful, but from the back, if you can see the behind the scene, so there is a lot of engineering has to be happen. If some issue, we need to maintain that, right? We have to understand, okay, where is the problem, where to do that, need to do the timely backup, we need to sort out the issue. We have, if we are resolving the issue is very delay, it will be again the business loss to the organization, right? We have to resolve the issue within the no time kind of, the SLA is very tedious. So these all things is very, very nightmare to the organizations. Understood? You can interrupt me if you feel that I'm unable to make it clear, or you're not able to understand that. So you can always instead of moving forward, you can interrupt me and we can clarify the doubt. Okay. Yeah, so this is the main data center. To maintain this data center, we have to we should have the place. We have to maintain the security. We have to maintain the chilled AC. All that infra is a very huge, again one of the huge cost. So that is the main reason. And also, if the upcoming, if you are one of the Arun need suppose they got a business idea, he got a good business idea, he developed an application by his own. So okay, he already developed an application, it is good, he knows that that idea may go into market, will really give him a good start there. So to launch that application, he have to make it public, that application, right? To make that application public, to launch the application, he need what he need to buy the servers, he need to buy the softwares, he need to buy the resources, he need to hire the engineers and to maintain that and to backup, and need the infrastructure and need the place where to store all the servers, where to maintain it, everything. It's a the development cost is not that much for him, whereas maintaining and the hosting cost is very high. He has to go with the need to or what it called, need to host the application, right? Need to procure the domain, need to maintain the backups. There is a lot investment in the for him. What if the particular if the application is not clicked or not go as he expected, so there is a huge loss to him, right? So for that, such startup companies is also very difficult to start and do some things. It is very challenge to them, so they cannot move on because of the huge cost. So that is also one of the reason the cloud came into picture. So how the cloud is helping and with these challenges, and how we are able to address that, we are able to understand in the upcoming slides. Okay. So moving on to now, hope you understood the what is cloud now. So cloud is it's the hosted services over internet. So the services, the cloud computing is an on-demand availability of the computer resources like storage account, database, networking, software analysis, intelligence, or anything. You can name it anything. It will be over cloud. If you need a server, if you need a virtual machine, they can directly take a virtual machine instead of buying a physical machine. They can procure a virtual machine and they can start using that. So this idea, this challenge may easily can address. If I don't want to invest more, I can just take a pay as you go mode. And if I'm using the very less servers or one server, I can pay for only one server. If I'm using the multiple servers, I can pay for that. If my demand goes high, then I can take the subscribe for the more servers. I can pay along with based on that only. So here I can scale up easily, and also I can scale down easily based on our needs. That is the main advantages of the cloud. Okay, so I'll repeat again. So cloud computing is an on-demand availability of the computer resources, including servers, storage, database, networking, software, and any analytical tools, or can be hosted over internet. Understood? Am I clear? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, and also I suggest, yeah, we'll move on to I'll update you on the next slide. If we are going with the fresher level or the 2 3 years experience level, they may come up with the interview question is what is cloud. Sometimes they'll ask, so we should know the definitions and in that, so that based on that only they can evaluate us whether we are the experienced person or the fresher just learned. So we should know the terminologies while answering the questions in the interview. So I suggest you to go through the definitions and memorize that. So that is a very much important, because the terminology what we use, what we are going to say is very important. Okay, coming to the next slide, the advantages. What is the advantages of the cloud? Can anyone able to tell the advantages of cloud? We already discussed what is the on-prem machine, what is the challenges. Can anyone tell the what is the advantages of cloud?
hosted on over internet. We can use if required, we can use multi-customers. If we want something more future, we can.
Sorry, it's very hard to understand, but what I heard is, yeah, correct. This will now unmuted.
Can you hear now?
Hello, yeah, better.
Yeah. So there is no need of investing so much for own data center.
Correct.
We can for minimal different services from the available packages from the cloud, and wherever requirement is increasing, we can go opt for more from cloud. So that way we are eliminating the extra cost and the extra responsibilities of making the center of capacity.
Anyone else who want to give a try? The objective of asking is I want to make it interactive because it should not feel that, okay, I'm telling XYZ, you just keep on listening, or it feels
It's like a pay as you go service. So as you need,
correct.
you have to pay, and you just have to go. Don't have to plan early, and there is a less budget as well. We don't have to allocate the budget in early and just plan
Right.
and buy anything early. So it's just like on the quick.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. So yeah. So here the cloud provider is the resources, handling the resources, which not means that no need to worry about the buying the servers or the maintaining, troubleshooting, as I said in the previous slide. So the main advantages is, if as you told, it is no need to procure any servers, no need to worry about the huge cost. So no need to maintain our data center, no need to maintain in the same servers. We should not no need to worry about the updates or upgrades or anything, vulnerability scannings, security scannings, anything. We no need to worry about that. And next is backup. Main important is backup and the restore. We need to take the periodical backup so that if something goes wrong, the server is crashed, we have to restore it back within the defined SLS. You know what is SLS? The service level agreement. So every issue we will have based on the priority of the issue, we have the SLS to resolve the issues. For example, the P1 we should get resolved within 1 hour, or P2 we should get resolved in 3 hours. So that depends on the organization to organization. Every organization will have their own SLS to resolve that issues. So we should be in a capacity to resolve the issues within the defined SLAs. So for that, we need to take if something goes wrong, the database got crashed or server got crashed. So we have the periodical backup will help in that. We have to take the backup and no need to worry about the taking backup and restoring back to the normal system, and improving the collaboration and excellent accessibility. You can access the system from anywhere in the world. So no need to worry about you have to go to the office, or earlier we have to go and sit into the data center itself to access that particular data system. No, it will not given access to the outside, even the within the same network user. If the organization is in X network, they cannot even access. They have the separate network for the data centers. And as one of the our member says that it's a low cost. Yes, it is very low cost compared to the cloud one. And it is a mobility, kind of easy to move here and there. You can, if one resource is not needed, if you are upgrading or if you are changing your architecture, so you can easy to change that particular process. If you don't want to use them X storage, or if you don't want to use something else, you can easily changeable. So main next thing is a service is a pay as you go model. So you can if you can, how much you are using, you can pay that much only. There's no need to pay in advance, or no need to pay in lump sum for that. Yeah, that depends on the subscription to subscription, what type of subscription you are taking and what type of plan you are taking. That depends on it will be get calculated. So based on the subscriptions also, the planning and that plans will be given by the Azure. Okay, next is the there are many advantages. Next is unlimited storage, unlimited performance. For example, if the server is, as I told, so if there is a peak season, the festival season is on, during that I need the, instead of one server, I need number of server is 10 or more than that. I can easily scale up and based on the needs automatically, and I can scale down easily whenever there is no requirement or no traffic. So no wastage of the resources. That is the main advantages. Understood? Yeah, so again, in the next slide also give you the same kind of the comparison for you to make you understand what is the difference between the cloud and things. As I told you the same, it will repeat the same, but just for to make understanding, the cost is generic in the physical machine. I need to procure, I need to put the cost in advance, or we have to invest that. But in the cloud, we can go as a pay as you go. For any changes, we need a huge downtime. If any changes need to be do in the application, if you are doing the Ola application or XYZ application, so if new feature is being added, you need to take the downtime, or you need to upgrade the server, you need the downtime. So downtime is not affordable to the organization. Why? The business loss. If the Amazon is down for 1 hour, so how much loss they'll have, right? So that the downtime is matters to the organization. So the huge downtime in the physical machine, whereas in the cloud computing there is no downtime is needed. We can do changes on the go. That is the main benefit or the advantages for the cloud computing. Then the next important is the scalability. I cannot scale, or I cannot scale up or scale down in the, if the server is idle or there is a high usage in the physical machine. Whereas in the cloud, easily can be scale up and scale down based on our needs. So that is the biggest. These are all the four biggest advantages of the cloud and the comparison. And then there is the cost. It is very cheap and easy to procure, and that is very difficult and cost. We need to raise the indent to any organization to buy anything. They have some procurement process. They have to raise the indent. They have to get approved by the procurement team, then HOD, then the main department head or something to buy the XYZ things. There is a lot of procurement process. Then the time of changing or procuring thing is very less here. Okay, yeah. So next, coming on to the cloud, how many types of deployments we have in the cloud? Okay, before understanding this cloud deployment, do you have any idea on what is internet and intranet? Especially the fresher who I didn't remember the name. What is intranet and internet? Anyone? Okay, let me give you just a one-liner understanding about that. So internet is, everyone knows that what is internet. Internet is can be accessible from across the world. You can access the URL or application from anywhere from the world by sitting on your. You should have the laptop or the phone. You can access that particular URL from anywhere. Whereas the intranet is can be accessible within that particular organization. So for example, so there is an leave application if you want to approve or something. So that particular application will be hosted only on the intranet. You should not need something to be hosted on the public. Like likewise, there are many finance related application within that organization only. So that will be hosted only on the intranet. That will be accessed within that network only, their domain only. But internet can be accessed across the globe. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So we have the three main types of deployments here, three types of deployment: public, private, and hybrid. What is public? Any idea? Yeah, as I told, the public is like an hosted over the internet. The public deployment is kind of a hosted over internet. You can access from anywhere in the world. You can access that application. So there is no restriction. We have the restrictions. It is not by like there no restrictions made. It is no there is no security. It is not like that. We have the security, but we can access that particular URL or particular your infrastructure from anywhere from through the internet. That is called public. The private is I can able to access my infrastructure or my application within their our own organization network only. So if, for example, I want to connect, there is an Ola application or there is an Amazon application. If I want to change anything in the Amazon application data or something related, I have to be within their network to access that particular server and do changes, right? So that is the private model. The private deployment, any service is hosted or deployed within their network is called the private deployment. So for example, the database, few organizations or few countries will not allow us to host our data to the with the share with the other countries. So for that purpose, what they'll do is they'll install the database or deploy the database in their own environment and the application in the private environment, public environment. In that way, they can use the public and private combination. So I'll tell you about that in the coming slide. What is hybrid? Anyone? What is hybrid? Am I audible? Is that clear, my voice?
Yeah,
it
it's
is
clear.
Yeah.
Hybrid is the usage of both cloud and on-prem.
Correct. Yeah, it's a kind of combination of the both public and the private. So it's a combination, as I just told. So someone want to maintain the database in their own environment, but the application can be hosted over internet. That can be used in the hybrid model. The hybrid is a combination of private and the public model. So I can connect my on-prem machine with the cloud also. So it's a hybrid. I can use the both environment at the same time. Understood? So like application, mostly the applications will have the entire architecture. One is the web application. I didn't give the slide for that. Give me a minute. Let me. I have something drawing here. Okay, no problem. I'll let you know in the coming slides. Okay, the hybrid is nothing but it's a combination of both public as well as the private. These are the interview questions. What type of deployments we have in the cloud? These are most of the time they'll ask, because there is a confusion between the deployment strategies and the deployment methods. So these are deployment methods, the public, private, and the hybrid. The deployment strategies are different. So that is the reason they'll keep asking the questions to make us confused. So I'll let you know whenever I'm telling the Azure DevOps, I'll tell you what is the deployment strategies, how the development strategies works, and all that I'll cover on the during our session on the Azure DevOps. At the end of the these slides, I'll tell you what we are going to cover, what you will able to learn once we finish this Azure classes, what you will be. So what is our objective? So I don't want to cover that before in the first slide. So to make you understand a bit, then that is the reason I kept it in the end of this today's session. So I'll let you know what we are going to cover in the throughout the session, and what you will be once you complete finish this training course, successfully completion of the training course. Okay, so cloud services are divided into three, divided into three types: as, PaaS, and SaaS. Can anyone tell the abbreviation, at least full form?
Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service.
Right. Yeah. So first is the infra as a service. So then we have the different other services in the cloud, platform as a service, then the software as a service. The cloud is divided the services into three types. So one is infra as a service. What is infra as a service? So it will be given the infrastructure as a service to us to host the application. So sorry, to use by the application. For example, the infra as a service is a VMs, virtual machines given by the cloud provider. So we have to manage by our own. So if the virtual machine is we procured from the online, we have to maintain OS should be there, what OS is needed, what antivirus is needed, what dependent software is needed in that, and we need to maintain that system for the backups and the restore, and we need to maintain the security related things. That's called infra as a service. The infrastructure is given as a service, we have to maintain that. As an organization, we have to, it's our headache to maintain that infrastructure. We are not procuring any physical server, we are virtually taking that server and we are maintaining, we are managing that. That's an infra as a service. The best example is the virtual networks and the VMs and load balancers, all that. That's an infra as a service. Coming to the platform as a service. What is platform as a service? Can anyone give an example? Yeah, so platform as a service, for example, if you want to host an application, as I given the previous slide, I got an idea to build an application that is hosted in the public. So how to host that application? I need a web server, right? So for to need the web server to host the application, I need the web server, I need the database server, I need the storage account. So that all needed. So if I'm maintaining the infra as a service, the first one, so I have to install the IIS in my web server and my infra as a service web server. Like if it is a Java based application, I need to install the Tomcat Apache. If it is a .NET based application, I need to install the IIS Internet Information Service as a web server, uh, and then I have to deploy the application in that. So what the Azure is saying is, if to just to host an application, why you are taking as an infra as a service. So don't worry about all that system upgrades, everything. So we give you the platform as a service, just a web server. You install, deploy your application and use that application. So we can use that application, just we are deploying the application, and then we are taking the database as a database, then we are connecting into the servers. We are not taking the entire application, entire system for us to maintain that. So the maintaining will be done by the Azure. What is, I'll give you an examples in the next slide so that it will be more easy for you to understand. So okay, what is SaaS? Anyone can give an example of SaaS? Software as a service. So they are given the software as a service. For example, a Gmail, Office 365 tools. For example, if I want to make the PPT, this PPT I want to create a PPT for my college project or a school project or my office project, something. I need to design the or draft a document or need to create a PPT. What I need that I have to install the PowerPoint in my local system, right? So what Azure is giving is, okay, no need to for that, just to create a one presentation or one thing, no need to procure the license for the PowerPoint or MS Word. Just you can use the Google. We have the Google Sheet, right? Google Sheet, Google PowerPoint is an example. So in the Google presentation, we can directly go there and create my own presentation. What we do in the name local machine. So instead of installing, I can directly access the software as a service, Google presentation or anything. I can directly use that and create my own presentation. I can create the documents there. I can do that. That's a software as a service. We are not doing anything. Directly the software is given. We are using that. The same Salesforce application, Gmail is also one of the software as a service. Software is given. Just we are using that software, and as in with the name of Gmail, we are using that mailing service. Okay, moving on to the example. So to make you more clear, then I'll ask whether you can able to understand or relate or not. Okay, so hope this slide will make you better understanding the physical machines. If you can come from the bottom, we need to maintain the networking, we need to maintain the storage, we need to maintain the servers. Then in one server, usually the rack servers will have the high capacity. So we have to it's not like a physical machine, normal desktop server. It will be low cost. The rack servers are very costly and very expensive. We'll buy one rack servers. We'll add the virtual machines in that virtual box and install the multiple OS and give it to the different applications. So we need to maintain all these virtual box, OS, middleware application, runtime, all runtime related softwares, then the data, and then the required application we need to install. Then only we can use. So everything is maintaining and managing by us in the on-prem. But in the infra as a service, what Azure is saying is we'll maintain the network, we'll maintain the storage, we'll maintain the servers, we'll give the virtual. Just you need to take the select which OS you need, whether you need the Linux, whether you need the OS, Windows, whether you need the SUSE or anything, any OS you can select, you can use that particular OS and start using that. So rest from there, we have to manage. Okay, OS upgrade we have to manage. If you need to install any middleware application, we have to do it. Any runtime application like .NET, anything we need to install that, we need to manage that. We need to do that. So everything rest the blue who thinks he is managing by the organization. The grayed out will be taken care by the cloud providers. Any cloud providers, not only the Azure, any cloud providers. So if you are taking AWS, there is also same, Google also same, Azure also same. Okay, so for just to host an application, if you are taking the infra as a code, it is very headache to the organization. They have to maintain. So they are given as a soft platform as a service. In platform as a service, the everything is taken care by the cloud providers, Azure. The OS is also they are taking virtualization also they are taking OS also they are taking care. Which OS we need to Linux or Linux based platform as a service or Windows based platform as a service, then they'll maintain the middleware, they'll maintain the runtime. Just we need to bring our own data, own application, host it and use it. That's it. So we are paying only for this part. So rest of everything will be taken care by the Azure or any cloud providers. So that's a platform as a service. Coming to the software as a service, we are not doing anything. So if the Gmail is down, if the PowerPoint Google Sheet is down, if we are not least bothered about the upgrade, security, any vulnerabilities, anything we are least bothered about. Just we are taking the URL, we are accessing it, right? So everything is given as a software as a service. That's it. So most of the organization will take the infra as a service or platform as a service, build their application and host as a software as a service to bring their to do their business. So using these models, they'll host the application, they'll procure the online cloud application using infra as a service or platform as a service, deploy their own application and give it to their customers as a software as a service. Is that clear now? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Let me know if I am going too fast or not making clear, because the physical classes is more different than the virtual one. We cannot able to see who is sleeping, who is listening. Okay, that's a joke. Give me 1 minute. Okay, no problem. So if someone want to attend physically, it's always welcome. We have the classes, we have the premises here. We can those who want to join physical classes, the learning is always different, and we have confident will build different way. So it's always welcome to attend the physical classes if needed, if you want. Okay. Okay, coming to the next slide. Why Azure? So there are a lot of cloud providers in the market. So why we need Azure? Why we are choosing Azure? So there are two ways again, as an organization, as an individual. So we should think about as an individual why Azure. As an organization, they'll think why Azure. So as an organization wise, Azure is the fastest growing cloud providers as in the market. it captured second place in the market share after AWS. After AWS, it captured the second place. So it and gives the compatibility to the every Windows platform. It is best for the Windows, any Windows based application, and also for the non Windows application. For migration purpose, Azure is very the best one. So and also why the organization is going with the Azure as an organization? Azure is investing huge every year. They are, for example, uh, Azure is investing huge $1 billion every year just for the security research and the development purpose. So just for only for the security purpose, they are investing 1 billion US dollars. Around 3,500 security experts they are be hiring. They'll be working on the just for the security to make the give us the security to our application to avoid any vulnerabilities, any malware, anything. So to avoid that kind of things, Azure is using only the 3,500 security experts to secure our applications. That is the main and big advantages for the Azure. And also Azure is very low cost compared to the all. There are a lot many cloud providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Alibaba, Salesforce, Dell, and IBM. There are many in the market, but currently Azure is captured the second place. Why it is capturing second place? We'll see in the upcoming slide. But Azure is highly secure. And it is investing a lot in the security purpose, and also as it is a one of the big uh, Gantt, it is doing a lot of research. It have a lot of money, so that it will invest and it will can go very aggressive in the market. Okay, this is a growth trend from the last 5 to 7 years. So in the 2015, it is just 5 billion dollar. Then slowly it is keep going to, or from the data what I captured from the internet is just 2019, but it is still growing. It is lot growing there. So actually, this is one of the most reason that we can see why how it is capturing the market, how Azure is growing. As an individual, why we are as an employee, as an individual, why we should consider Azure. So Azure is in the market. We'll discuss that in the after in the next slide. Why as an individual, why we should choose Azure, why not the other one, after comparing with the with the AWS to Azure. So there is a small difference. It's not a big comparison with the Azure to AWS to Azure. It's just a small comparison. So AWS is launched before with the Azure it is launched in 2016, but Azure launched in around 2010. So that is the reason it's captured a lot of big market in the market share. As it is the old data, the last year data, it captured around 31% of the global share market. But whereas currently it is 31% is Azure. So I'm not sure about the AWS. So Azure captures 31% of the share worldwide. And then yeah, might be Azure AWS is also grown then in that case. So and Azure AWS have the 61 availability zone. What is availability zone? We'll see. We'll understand much detail in the upcoming classes. Not now. So, but Azure AWS have the 161 availability zones, whereas Azure have 140 availability zones. Availability zone means if one data server is down, it should have the other data server is available to relay them. So they'll keep maintain the parallel availability zone, so to give the high availability to the end users. So if one region is down, one zone is down, it will switch to the other zones. That is the reason the in brief for availability zone will understand more detail in once we move on to the VM classes. So what is availability zones? And the naming convention is also very simple in Azure. Like in AWS, like, for an instances or for virtual machine, it will use an EC2 instances, and for virtual network, they'll use a virtual private cloud and etc. But whereas in the Azure, it we use the old terminologies only, same like what we are using from since the beginning of that computer era. We are using virtual machine. Same for virtual machine, they are using again the same name, virtual machine. For virtual network, so they use the VNet. It's a short form of the virtual network. And then load balancer, again it is the same load balancer. And the gateway is also same. It we use the same terminologies, easy to understand, easy to memorize. And Azure is best for all the Windows based product and also hybrid. If you want to go hybrid way, combination of the private and cloud. So private and public, Azure is the best. Whereas Linux, for Linux based operating system, AWS is best one. And then the pricing model is also same. So earlier the AWS used to give the per hour basis, they used to charge. So like the Reliance, once the Reliance came into picture, then the call rates dropped drastically. The same way they should drop the packages drastically, given the free trial, then the pay permanent basis, pay as you go. So it started that, then the slowly obtained by the other cloud providers as well. Now the everyone will have the pay as you go model like Azure. So we have the support model. Support is hybrid. So we have the good support system compared to the AWS. Okay, might be you're going very high. I may end up my trainings in next 5 minutes. So then we can cover again detail once we move on to the classes, as it is just a demo class. Okay, so coming to the certification path, so everyone will have might be the understanding what type of certification are we giving the certificate. So it is yeah. So in any in the world, anyone who is giving the trainings, the certification given by the institutes or any authorized centers is not valid. So that certification has to be done from the Microsoft. So this is the main certification path. One, there are three parts. One is for the developer, one is for the Azure DevOps and the admin, and the second is for the last one is for the architects. So we can choose our own path. Mostly we are doing training on the AZ 104 and the AZ 900. So this middle one path. So once this AZ 900 is an optional, then we can move on to the AZ 104 and 103. Then we can go with the AZ 400, that is Azure DevOps Expert certification. So this is a certification path. The Azure is providing their own certificate, even though if the some any reputed institute is also given you as an okay certified Azure certified completion of the training, that is not valid unless we'll do the certification from the Azure, Microsoft Azure.
So this
Okay,
training is for Azure admins or for architects or for the developers?
the middle one. I'm saying the Azure admin as well as Azure DevOps. So we are covering AZ 900, AZ 104, and also AZ 400 related topics here. This path, AZ
Any intro on the DevOps?
sorry.
Any introduction on the DevOps?
Introduction on the DevOps.
Yeah.
Yeah, DevOps, just as it is a basic and basic session here. So DevOps will cover in the ones in the we are going to the DevOps session. So DevOps, you need to understand first what is Azure, then only we can move on to the DevOps. DevOps is just an automation of the continuous integration and the continuous testing. So that helps the organization to effectively manage their application without any downtime. They can do the changes easily on the go. So DevOps, we usually will not jump into the directly to DevOps. It will be after 10-15 classes only. I suggest. So any institutes in the directly will not give the DevOps demo class, because it is not understand easy to understand. Okay, we
No,
have
no.
to move on.
What is the role of a DevOps engineer or DevOps analyst because we understood what is cloud, what is Azure, what is software as a service, everything. So, what is the role of dev of admin or engineer, and what are we going to cover in this training module, so that we can understand, what are the prerequisites we should have, and what is the job that we are going to do if
Correct.
once we get the job.
Correct. So that's what my next slide is. So you are a bit to one slide before. So the objective of the completion after completion of this training. So the objective is we are training as an Azure admin. You can able to create the resource. You can able to spin up the resource. You can able to do. You can pitch in as an Azure admin so that you can create the resource or manage the resource. And also you can go as a DevOps also DevOps admin. We can combination of the both. In DevOps admin, DevOps engineer, usually what we'll do is we'll create for example, the architect is given, okay, to create, just I need a Ola application. They'll create an architect diagram. So I need a web service, I need a storage, I need the key vault, I need XYZ, or they'll provide the complete diagram, what all the resources is needed. So we have to define that as an infra as a code. So okay, infrastructure, we cannot create that resources manually, we have to do it automate. If that resource got down in future after 1 month or 2 months use, we should able to spin up that resource automatically. So we have to create the first infra as a code by using an ARM template and the PowerShell. With the help of PowerShell script, we can able to create that resources. We need the web server, yes, we can create that. We can, if you need the VM, we can create that, or SQL server or key vault, anything we can create using infra as a code and set up with the help of the continuous integration and the continuous deployment. That is the one part. Second, there are many things, and the second thing is, if the developer is doing the changes, for example, the developer is doing the changes and there is hundreds of developers is working on the same code. So who if I am doing the commit and changes to a one code, and the same other developer is also doing the same thing, how we are managing, how the commit will happen, so where is the central repository? So if that does once they'll do the changes, then who is building? Earlier they used to a separate team, release and build and management team, they have to build the application so that it will be readable by the web servers. The web server, anywhere, if you want to host a web server, they have to make it the readable, they have to build the application. Then that building process will be done by the DevOps by creating a continuous integration pipeline, whether it's a Java based application or .NET based application or PHP application. We have to create a continuous integration pipeline so that it will build your artifacts and the deployable artifacts to automatically once the developer do the check-in, and it should create that process. And once the artifacts is generated, we have to immediately deploy that complete application to the next level, that is QA. There are multiple stages in the organization, like development will have their own environment, quality team, the QA team will have their own environment, and the UAT team, user acceptance team, will have their own environment, and then they move on to the production. So we'll deploy to the each and every stages respectively, one by one, based on their approvals, based on that will do in using with the help of DevOps. So that will be done by the DevOps only. So how to we are making on continuous integration, how the DevOps designing the pipeline will be handled by the as a DevOps engineer. You can also create the resources, you can also manage the CI/CD pipelines with the help of DevOps. That's what we are doing as a DevOps engineer.